Hello YouTube. Today I'm going to be talking about picks. Picks. So if you're watching this video, I'm going to assume that you're somewhere in the beginner stages of guitar, if not just starting out, like just got your first guitar. One of the things that beginner guitarists run into, as did I, you run into a whole wealth of information that basically doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It's foreign to your mind when it comes to gear, picks, strings, guitars, tone, all these different things seem really foreign to you because you've never heard of it. It's not something they cover in school. You don't hear about it in music class per se. You work with recorders and more vocal stuff in school if you do music. So one of the things that people immediately discover is picks. One of the first questions people have is, why do I need that? I was actually teaching my daughter. She's 7 years old now, but I started teaching her around 2 years ago. And her immediate question was like, well, why can't I just play with my fingers? You can, but there's a reason why guitars use picks. It just gives a different sound, it gives an attack, and it makes certain things easier. Now, there's times that you want to play with just fingers, and that's completely fine, and if you never want to play with a pick, you don't have to. But a large majority of guitarists that play like the electric guitar use picks. So, today I figured we could go over what a pick is, what kinds of picks there are, what their function is, and we'll just look at a few picks and let you hear a couple different picks playing a guitar. And I'll actually turn it on to a clean channel so you can hear the difference in tone, because whenever you have overdrive on or distortion on, different tonal stuff is a little bit harder to hear for a newer ear to music. Alright, so number one, what is a pick? A pick is something like this that you hold with your hand and you play your strings with to make sound. It could be any range of shape, it could be any size, thickness, color, which doesn't really matter, but and also, some picks are made out of wood, some picks are made out of metal, plastic, nylon. Some of them, I actually have one today, it's called a Dava, that has bits of rubber on it that's supposed to help you grip, and it also flexes, so it's a very interesting pick. Immediately, as a newer guitarist, you want to start experimenting with different types of picks to try to find one that suits you, and usually as you progress as a guitarist and you keep trying different picks, you'll find what you like and what you don't like. I've gone through several different changes of types of picks that I use. I used to use little itty bitty picks called JS3s because that's what everybody around me was using, and then I discovered that certain things that I was playing at the time was really hard to do with such a small surface to play with, so I moved up to the Grant Paul style old picks that everybody tried and true used, but I use a sharp version of them, and it has suited me well. So one of the things that picks have in difference to each other is the thickness. A lighter pick that is thinner, it'll be a lot more soft and flexible, like you'll be able to flick it around. They don't have near the stability for playing like solo stuff. Now you can use any pick for that kind of stuff, but they give it a slightly different sound. It has less what you call attack, so it doesn't have as much, it doesn't have that real strong hit whenever you hit a string. The softer picks tend to have more of a rounded sound, and as you move up in thickness, which this is what you call 0.90 sharp, which is relatively thick, it still has a little bit of flex in it. The thicker they get, a little bit more control you get over them, and a little bit more attack the string has as you play. There's different types of plastics and stuff, like I was talking about before, and all of them slightly alter the tone of whatever you're playing. It might not seem like much when you first start out, just because a musician has to develop an ear, and some people might not hear a difference, but then 2-3 years later, after you start playing, maybe 4 years, you listen and you're like, oh yeah, there's a big difference there. Whereas when it first started out, it's like it all just sounds like notes to you, or it all sounds like noise. It's strange how the human brain works, but it does work like that. So now I'm going to go ahead and show you a couple of the different styles of picks I have today, and just give like a brief explanation. So this is the type of pick that I use. It's called a Dunlop Ultex Sharp. These are very, very versatile picks, okay? You can use them for metal, you can use them for rock, you can use them for country, anything. And really, you can use any of them, but some of them, like I said, are just suited for certain purposes. Then we have this one right here. This is a metal pick. See how it's got a rounded edge compared to the sharper one? So this is going to have a little bit more of a nice soft glide across the strings. Not going to have as much attack, but it's also metal, so it gives it kind of an interesting sound. Then we have something like this, like a Dorito style pick. I actually bought this when I used to play bass. Yes, I did actually use a pick for playing bass, so don't hate me. This one's wood, which these tend to be more expensive and thicker, and I personally did not like it very much. Yes, if I could focus on it. See, I had that for a day and it ground it down that far. So, yeah. These are what you would call like Jazz 3 style jazz picks. Okay. Some of them have like texture that's, kind of hard. And then this one's like more smooth. Jim Dunlop makes this one right here. And then you have something like that, which is like a Dorito. Really, I prefer these for like acoustic if I ever did use one of those, which I don't. And you've got like the Tortex, Fender Heavy. I tend to have the heavier picks. Yeah. And that's a Dava. This thing, you'll notice that it's very, very flexible because it's rubber. Like all that black is actually rubber. It's a very strange pick. I bought it to try it and I didn't really like it. Alright, so I'm going to run through a couple picks just to show you. I'm not going to play every single one of them, but just to show you the tonal difference. Okay. If you can notice it at all. So, this is the metal pick. Very bright sounding. Right. Now I'm going to go to the Dorito style pick. Slightly different. Can you hear that? I can hear it. A little bit different. This is one of the jazz. Really, really bass heavy on that. It really has that rounded. different, right? And then we'll try the Dava just to show you. This is a weird. And then go back to the metal one just so you can hear. Very, very clean, crisp sound. Alright, hope you enjoyed. If you did, go ahead and like and subscribe to my channel to keep up to date with the new videos. I plan on uploading quite a few new ones. Thank you.